Hi, this is Marcia, and welcome to the Weekly Blend. This week we are looking at a Phase 1 example lesson. What we're going to do is we're going to travel to Splendora ISD and look at an ELA classroom where the teacher is talking about inferencing. We're going to explore the checklist, we're going to explore the different studios, and we're even going to see how the students transition when it's time to move to the next activity. You guys ready? Let's do this. All right, welcome everybody. Super excited to have you here again this week. We're going to start out first by looking at the example checklist that Miss Martin made for her blended learning lesson at Splendora ISD Middle School. And you can see right here what I really like about this checklist. It has the student's name, what class period, but also has a checkbox. That is really important. It has what they need to bring as well as a key takeaway. Like I said, she was working on some inferencing skills, and she was also looking for some reteaching abilities in her small group, which she's going to be doing race. So they're going to be doing something inside of their journals. She has a digital content with a QR code at the studio. Future Ready. Oh, I love this Future Ready. They were working on inferencing. And in this studio, the students are going to be working, talking, collaborating together, and pulling items out of the grab bag. And then independent practice, they're going to be annotating a poem and, of course, looking for inferencing. So now that we have our checklist, we're going to go in and we're going to look at see what the classroom setup looks like. This is what I saw when I walked right into the classroom. It's a studio expert, and the studio expert is coming over and telling this group of students what they need to complete when they get to that studio. Let's watch. So she's telling them the directions. Okay, guys, this is what you're going to do. Grab one question, grab two questions, grab three questions. Talk about it, write your answer down. She's like, all right, you got it? She goes back to her studio. She went back to digital content. I love these studio experts. I think it's a great way just to make sure that the students have somebody there if they get stuck or somebody there to get them started. Well, the teacher's in that small group. All right, next, here's an example again of that Future Ready Studio in action. Again, the students pull out a question, they talk about it, and then they write their answer down. Next, we have the independent studio. So much is going on in this photo. 1, you can see that their picture directions are right there for the students. 2, do you see the highlighters? The highlighters are all contained in a jar, so the students have those highlighters when they go through and highlight their poem. 3, there's a timer set up. The students will set their timer for 10 or 12 minutes, depending on how long the teacher said on their checklist. That way it gives them an indication about how much time is left. The students are working in the studio together. Even though it's independent, if they get stuck, they can ask each other for help. That's why we put them in an area. Let's keep going. Next, we have the digital content bar. The way the teacher set it up was she got some folding tables. She set it up so that students are facing the wall, but they're all there together. The reason why she does that is she could quickly see the student's screen. 1, if they're struggling and they need extra help, if they can't get logged in, she can notice that right away. But also, it just helps the students to stay focused. They're facing away from the rest of the group, and they know that the teacher can come and see their screen at any time. So that digital content bar setup is one of my favorite ways to design a classroom for that blended learning studio. So let's take a look at the small group studio. What I like that Miss Martin did was she got the students started on the RACE activity. It's a review for something that's coming up on their test for Friday. But what I like is she got the students started, she had the materials ready to go, and when the kids sat down in her small group, she said, okay, let's get going, get out your journals, go ahead, get started with the race activity. Then she got up and she walked around the room to double check to see if there's any misconceptions or if students are struggling with the studio that they just moved to. She then returned back to her seat and she began working with the students. Let's listen in to what she has to say.
So does each group have a different question?
Well, they're going to take their COR test on Friday, so this is the practice we're going to put together. So
Okay.
we're ready for it on
I like
This is the practice
I
question.
love that her anchor chart is right there. Her direction cards are right there. She's sitting right beside the students. Wow. One thing you don't see in this video is that the teacher actually had a teacher tracker to keep track of how the students were answering questions, what they were missing, again, what were some of those misconceptions. And she had that data right there so that way she could go back and create her groups for the next day based off of that data. Hats out to you, Mrs. Martin. I'm so proud of you. Okay, let's go into talking a little bit more. Let's see what she's doing here, again, in her small groups.
And they have to answer the questions, and that's part of
She's
their-
checking off their
I
checklist.
like it. So now you're running around right now and checking off on their checklist what they have done.
and making sure that they have the things from their studios. We staple them together.
So she's looking at their checklist, looking to see if they have everything completed. She marks it off, signs off on the checklist, and then continues with her lesson. She's giving time for the students to process, time for the students to ask questions. It's not just a teacher telling them what to do, but it's that kind of back and forth. It is a truly great small group instruction. Now what you're going to see is that we're going to see transition time. The timer is going to go off, the students are going to get up, and they are going to rotate to their next studio. Here we go.
All right, time is up. Let's rotate to your next group.
Students clean up their area, they take their belongings, they physically get up, and they move to the next studio. Now remember the studio experts? She's going to the small group now, but guess what? She comes back again to the Future Ready studio to give them directions again.
For digital.
Now, as a student teaches the other students over and over again how to do the different studios, they become quicker and faster. So we had to make sure that they give them clear directions and they understand before they walk away. Wow, fantastic transition. If you had your stopwatch off, it took about 1 minute and 15 seconds to get the kids started in their next studio. Pretty impressive. What I really love about this is that Miss Martin earned her Phase 1 sticker. I'm so proud of her and her students, and I cannot wait to see them again in October. And hopefully they can earn their Phase 2 sticker. Thanks guys for joining me in this weekly Blend video, the exploration of what Phase 1 looks like from Splendor ISD. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a good week.